Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition, with its freedom and deep content, is a must-have RPG experience for Nintendo Switch 2. Set in a post-apocalyptic world, the game puts exploration, story choices, and character development entirely in the player's control. The quest structure doesn't follow a single path. Decisions made, relationships with factions, and dialogues determine how the world unfolds. The base building system, along with weapon and armor customization, is a crucial element that keeps gameplay alive in the long run. The Anniversary Edition content makes the game more comprehensive and rich, strengthening the exploration and gameplay aspects. Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition is a must-have on the Nintendo Switch 2 game list for open-world RPG lovers.
Bond. James Bond.
007 First Light is an easy addition to any Nintendo Switch 2 game list for players who enjoy the spy theme. The game centers on James Bond and delivers an experience focused on stealth, planning, and mission-based progression. Instead of pure action, it encourages careful timing and smart use of the environment. Missions are not locked to a single solution, giving players the freedom to approach objectives in their own way. Level design maintains a clear balance between elegance and danger, capturing the atmosphere of the Bond universe. The narrative follows a cinematic, character-driven structure throughout. The technical capabilities of the Switch 2 provide a solid foundation for presenting this spy-focused atmosphere with impact. 007 First Light is a must-play on Switch 2 for anyone who wants to experience the Bond universe from the very beginning. Pragmata holds a special place on the list for those seeking a different experience on the Nintendo Switch 2. The game deviates from classic action structures, focusing on the simultaneous use of two characters. Hugh handles the combat and movement, while Diana completely changes the rhythm of the game by hacking the environment and enemy systems. This structure offers gameplay that forces you to think as well as shoot. The sci-fi-themed moon station atmosphere is supported by a cold, lonely world that constantly feels threatening. Progress is achieved not only through combat but also through environmental puzzles and system manipulations. Action-packed moments and calm exploration sections follow each other in balance. The visual presentation is minimalist yet powerful, and the environmental designs clearly reflect the game's mysterious tone. On the Switch 2, this narrative is not interrupted thanks to smooth performance and clean visuals. With its unconventional approach, Pragmata is a unique game that absolutely must be tried in the Switch 2 library. Resident Evil Requiem, with its focus on suspense and survival, deserves a strong place on the Nintendo Switch 2 game list. The game aims to keep the player constantly on edge with its atmospheric design. Exploration, resource management, and careful progression form the basis of the experience. While the action is controlled, the sense of fear is conveyed through environmental design and pacing. Enclosed spaces, limited resources, and a feeling of uncertainty keep the tension of the gameplay alive. The narrative adopts a slow-paced structure that keeps the player's curiosity alive. While the dark tone characteristic of the Resident Evil universe is maintained, a more intense atmosphere is emphasized. Resident Evil Requiem is one of the games you should play on Nintendo Switch 2 for those seeking a pure horror and survival experience.
Mom, I'm scared.
No. We need to find a way out of here now.
But we don't have any of our stuff.
We can come back for it later, Grace.
Tomb Raider Definitive Edition stands out as a powerful experience on Nintendo Switch 2, balancing action and exploration. Centered around Lara Croft's struggle for survival, the game maintains a fast-paced tempo with its cinematic storytelling. Open-field exploration, climbing sequences, and combat follow seamlessly. The resource gathering and equipment upgrade system makes gameplay more satisfying as you progress. Visual enhancements included in the Definitive Edition add a clearer and darker tone to the atmosphere. On Switch 2, smooth performance ensures uninterrupted action and seamless transitions. The game offers an ideal structure for players who want a combination of intense action and storytelling. Tomb Raider Definitive Edition is a solid classic that should belong in the Switch 2 library for fans of modern adventure games. Hollow Knight Silksong is a powerful game that absolutely must be in the Nintendo Switch 2 library. This time, the controls are in Hornet's hands, and the gameplay is entirely shaped by its pace. More agile movements, fluid attacks, and a combat system that requires reflexes significantly increase the game's tempo. The new area called Farloom makes exploration more intense with its vertical design and constant sense of threat. The map doesn't let the player rest and demands attention at every step. Boss fights are more aggressive and technical, and mistakes are immediately punished. The quest structure is clearer, so the feeling of progression is seamless. The visual style preserves the spirit of the series while offering a more vibrant and detailed presentation. Thanks to the smooth performance and crisp visuals on Switch 2, the game feels seamless, both in handheld and docked mode. Silksong is a special experience not to be missed for Metroidvania fans on Switch 2. Dragon Quest VII Reimagined embodies the classic JRPG concept with its patiently unfolding story and powerful world building. The game's exploration-focused structure draws the player into an adventure spanning different eras, gradually expanding its narrative. Each new region and event increases the weight of the story, strengthening the sense of progression. The turn-based combat system relies on strategy. Party formation, skill choices, and character development directly affect the outcome of battles. With the reimagined version, the visual presentation is cleaner, and the interface is more understandable. While maintaining the series' distinctive tone, the pace is more balanced. Dragon Quest VII Reimagined is one of the must-play titles on Switch 2 for those seeking a long-lasting, story-driven JRPG experience.
They didn't stand a chance.
Kirby's Air Riders is one of the most energetic games on the list for those seeking pure fun on the Nintendo Switch 2. The game centers around an arcade-style racing structure, prioritizing speed and fluidity. The controls are extremely simple, making the game accessible to everyone, but it also offers depth for those who want to master it. The power-up system makes each race different, and the course of matches can change in seconds. The party aspect is quite strong. Playing with a group significantly increases the chaos and fun. When playing solo, it focuses on chasing scores and improving driving skills. The colorful and clean visual style, combined with the Switch 2 hardware, creates an extremely fluid experience. Kirby's Air Riders is a must-have game in the Switch 2 library for players who prioritize fun over competition. Monster Hunter Stories 3 Twisted Reflection is a must-have for those who want to experience the Monster Hunter universe with a more story-driven and strategic approach on the Nintendo Switch 2. The game deviates from the action-heavy nature of the main series, focusing instead on turn-based combat and the bonds formed with monsters. The story takes on a darker, more conflict-ridden tone. Relationships with the monsties directly impact both gameplay and narrative. Battles aren't just about strength. They rely on reading the right moves and teamwork. The exploration, egg collecting, and monster evolving cycle constantly encourages the player to progress. The colorful visual style creates a balanced contrast with the serious story theme. Monster Hunter Stories 3 Twisted Reflection offers an unmissable RPG experience on Nintendo Switch 2 for those who want to experience the Monster Hunter world from a different perspective. Donkey Kong Bananza on Nintendo Switch 2 offers a fun and fast-paced experience that blends the classic platforming spirit with a modern twist. The game emphasizes Donkey Kong's raw power and physics-driven gameplay, creating a more dynamic platforming experience. Levels focus not only on jumping, but also on interacting with the environment and timing your moves perfectly. Breaking through obstacles, moving in chain reactions, and maintaining a consistent rhythm form the core feel of the game. Bananza creates reflex-requiring moments with its fast-paced yet controllable tempo, without tiring the player. The visual style is colorful and energetic, and the character animations clearly convey Donkey Kong's weight and power. Thanks to the Switch 2's fluid performance, transitions are smooth and controls are highly responsive. With its nostalgic roots while embracing a modern platforming approach, Donkey Kong Bananza is a must-have game for any Switch 2 gaming library. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond offers a standout action-adventure experience for Nintendo Switch 2, centering once again on Samus Aran and focusing on exploration. While maintaining the first-person perspective gameplay of the Prime series, progression relies more on reading the environment and deciphering the map than on fast-paced action. Using the right equipment in the right place forms the core of the game's progression. The design encourages exploration rather than directing the player. The atmosphere is built more through environmental details and pacing than dialogue. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond is a must-have for those who enjoy exploration-focused action games on Nintendo Switch 2. The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is a must-have game for the Nintendo Switch 2, offering a sense of freedom and creativity-driven gameplay. Instead of forcing a single path, the game allows the player the freedom to interact with the world and create their own solutions. Exploration, puzzles, and combat elements are entirely shaped by the player's approach. The structure built between the sky and the earth keeps map exploration constantly alive and makes every step meaningful. Physics-based systems allow even simple ideas to be transformed into creative solutions. While the narrative progresses without overwhelming the player, the atmosphere and world design convey the weight of the adventure. The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is one of the most powerful experiences you should play on the Nintendo Switch 2 for those who love games focused on freedom and exploration.